aren't necessarily as easy as they seem, or as easy, well, or as free, I suppose.
She just looks at the ground at that.
I want to actually apologize first to all those who have been watching for the past 16 minutes without sound.
No.
Oh no.
So a
Oh, that is funny.
quick recap. Well, there was a recap.
Now we actually do have to give a recap.
Yeah, there was a very short. So recap. We gave a quick recap of what happened previously, and basically Callahan basically dropped a little bit of a subtle bomb onto Kelna Coppercrest, saying, "I'm one of you guys. Let's meet up later and see what happens."
One of the halfling sisters.
Yeah, one of the halfling sisters. Right, there we go. Please continue.
Shall we real quick just rewind?
No, look, it's so yes. Anput was. Go ahead.
Anput has brought up the fault, and that she does want to hear about what the three elven sisters have to say about the tongue enhancer. And Junnen was simply repeating what his fault was, but will not stop her if she chooses to go. And Anput will simply she'll nod once and then put her head down. Today's not been the best day. They'll then look at the professor.
I think that's when there's a knock on the door, and Callahan, you can slip in.
Right. Oh, am I interrupting something?
Anput will wave, and then realize who it is, and then sort of cower back a bit.
Oh, we were discussing our invitation due to the fact that some of our belongings were lost. Two of us got invited for a dinner.
How perfectly lovely. You mean the sisters then? They invited you?
Yes, indeed.
Huh. Well, how about that? When is this supposed to take place?
I'm afraid any moment.
I see. Who will be joining? Is that you and turns his head towards Anput and all right. What about you, Junnen? Anything planned for the evening? Junnen?
I got a message. What was that? The last part?
Anything planned for the evening?
Well, I haven't had my stuff stolen, and I can't shake this feeling that the sisters don't really seem to like me much, which I can't for the life of me wonder why. Maybe a elf-dwarf grudge, which is funny because it's usually on us to hold these things. So I suspect that I won't intrude on their dinner. I haven't been invited. It really isn't my place. So if anyone else has anything else that they would like to do for this evening, I'm more than happy to accompany you. If not, I'm sure I will enjoy myself thoroughly at the bar.
I see. Out of curiosity, just how many drinks does it take for you to be completely out of commission?
A lot.
Okay, so there's hope then. Listen, I might be interested in getting into a bit of trouble later this evening. So in case that becomes a thing, sorry, and also, might I count on you to help me out in a pickle?
Oh, gladly. If there's one thing that I like to do, not quite as much as making alcohol, but we'll say just under it, it's making sure that those I'm in charge of are looked after. So
Attaboy.
I am you're sorry, I suppose I should say you are under my care and protection. If anything should happen to you, it will have to happen to me first.
I feel
Anput
safe
will nod
already.
her head a little frantically.
You sorry? I didn't catch what you said, Ethan.
Anput nods her head a little frantically when Callahan asks.
Okay.
Mm. And Callahan goes, I feel safe already. And I am going to just very quickly check something. GM, how
Yes.
far away from the bar is the tower in terms of feet?
From the bar?
Yeah.
Let's see. Measuring tools. Well, I from the. Whoops, that's the
Big
wrong.
square.
Yeah, big square.
A square
there we go.
envelops the spa.
So
Make a
let's
dex
see.
save.
We've got. Out about 90 feet from door to door.
90. Okay, interesting. In which case, here's a thing that I'm gonna try and do. I don't think you actually let me know, DM, if Junnen would notice anything. As I'm going to roll a d8 and activate my ability Psychic Whispers.
We
Let
can't
me
hear.
see.
Psychic Whispers, I believe, allows you to link everybody, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So
I need to be within 1 mile.
it's 1 mile. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is perfectly fine. So depending on how you rule it, DM, there's essentially
Yes, you are
a
linked
moment.
telepathically. You have walkie-talkies basically between the four of you.
Yeah.
Let's simplify because I believe it's everybody with you. But for this, let's say that it's you may communicate telepathically among the four of you freely,
Yeah.
as long as you have Callahan within 1 mile to serve as a radio tower.
And that works within, sadly, not that long, the next 2 hours.
So.
And I've used one of my dice for the day. The first one was a free, if I recall. Well then, enjoy your dinner. And I think I will walk out and be conspicuous in my availability for the sisters to notice, hopefully. The halfling sisters, not the other ones.
Yeah, I get that. Right.
I will probably follow him out and just head to the bar.
Okay.
I'm not going to start heavily drinking yet, but I'll probably just have like a pint of something that I'll slowly sip on for like the next. I as much as I'd want to say an hour, that is unlikely to happen. So we'll be generous and say the next 30 minutes.
Okay. The plan, before I start moving you around the map, we can fast forward maybe an hour or two. Just for let's say it this way, Callahan, I'll the link, because it's 2 hours, will maybe wait for the moment. I'll give you an opportunity to basically activate it when you wish, right before you sort of separate and the operation goes. So
Sounds good.
The idea is Hawthorne and Anput, you are going to go to the sisters and say, we accept your invitation.
Yeah.
As they leave off, then we might have then we have the whole Coppercrest heist thing that happens. But we're before we get that, we'll get a conversation with the sisters and Hawthorne and Callahan. But
Small clarification here.
yes.
I can only link up with a number of creatures equal to my proficiency bonus, which means that I'm going to choose, I think in this case, the professor, and I'm going to choose
Oh,
Junnen, and I
Okay.
think I'll keep one for one of the sisters.
okay.
That is
So,
very fair
What
and
are you
valid.
passing out? Sorry.
so basically, a telepathic link.
Okay.
And I mean, as this is something that
Does this link only like if I wanted to, for example, speak to Ethan, right? Just for example, obviously because they don't speak common. Do I have to go through
no. So what
like the?
what we're saying is that this is an open channel, right? Between.
Okay.
But it also means that if you wish to communicate with, there's no private communication. That's what I mean. Right. So anything
All right.
that goes through
Anything
the link.
said there is
Yes.
okay.
Everyone hears it.
Yes.
All right. Embarrassing
right.
stories, guys, or that you want one-on-one.
Bond goes up, the psychic link goes up, and Junnen's like, man. Trying to
Think
piss
of an
myself
elephant.
the other day.
Yeah, man, I really
Sure
should
glad no one
have my
knows
liquor.
that.
I'm
That
really
would be
pissing too
embarrassing.
much.
Talking about keeping himself regular, open mic. Oops, wrong channel. I thought I was deaf.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted. No, you were not.
Nope.
I think let's sort of maybe move about an hour further. We have Kelna and Leona sort of sitting together, most likely gossiping about the nice looking human. The Callahan, you might want to be joined. I'll just move you into all of you guys to the bar. Here we go, and Hawthorne and Anput. Here we go. Don't worry, the hand of God is merciful. Ish.
Anput don't know that. Anput's terrified out of
I
mind.
God don't know that. Right. So let's go back just a moment. Callahan with Junnen in tow. Junnen, you go sit yourself at the bar. You've noticed that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that this is just around before the dinner bell, and you've seen the sort of Kolb has taken his seat back where you first saw him, sort of back to the door. This time, again, he's got. You can see the sort of his scar hasn't changed since this morning, so it's still that sort of very translucent kind of pinkish, very smooth texture. But this time, and he's looking into it. He's got a hand mirror with him, basically a small hand mirror. The back of it is. Has the representation of Sune, right? The woman's face with the sort of the hair going around, and he's just looking, and he's got his hand on his chin, and he seems to be obsessed by the reflection that this mirror is giving him. Sort of pondering a difficult decision. For the you haven't seen the Farleys until Saris might still be in the garden at this point. So, yeah. Right. So, as you step forward, Callahan, because we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of Leola sort of looks up, and she has sort of this. I think the expression is she has steel behind her smile.
Mm-hmm.
As in, maybe you've gotten Kelna to sort of maybe admit, but Leola is the protective. She's the bigger sister, I'll say, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the way you see it, she might actually be the really vicious one.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, clarification. Was this the one who had the hots for me, or was this the other one?
I forget. But Leo,
Wait, one of the sisters had the hots for him?
I think so.
Why
Yeah.
did I miss that?
Oh yeah, that was part of the conversation that people missed. The viewers.
No, that was actually previous sessions. There was one of them who had a because Callahan came in and did a pretty good I think you rolled
There
a
is-
19 on a charisma check or something along those lines. And so, yes, definitely one of them was sort of enamored. But if that was the case, that affectionate gaze is no longer there, right? We are no longer looking at a summer fling. We are looking at a potential partner in crime and somebody who could get us caught. So, so Leola says, "Well, my sister's been telling me about this book you've been writing. So,
Yeah. Bit of an ambitious story, but I think if the characters are as good as they should be at this point, I think the outcome should be rather good. Or at least has the potential to be for everyone involved.
well, one might say that it's not too prudent in these days of copyrights to just leave that story hanging along to anybody, huh?"
Oh,
And
you know,
you can
that's the
see,
joy
you
of
can
it.
see, you can see that Kelna sort of shrinks a bit as Leola clearly had the conversation. Goes, "What did you say? Why did you say it?" But Leola continues. "But I agree that the story might need a little bit of help to get to its ending, and well, we're both very curious into seeing what develops."
Collaborative storytelling. It's the future, I think.
Absolutely.
And I will nod towards the gardens outside so as to be less exposed and take them both for a stroll. Body language very much. I'm trying to be neutral, guarded, not a threat, and professional.
Hey, whoa. What's the plan?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kelna told me that she mentioned that the temple's completely sealed and shut. So, what? You want to try and find another entrance? You've got some solvent, and believe me, we tried the solvent for the nail polish here. Didn't go through that sticky mess.
No, I've got a different kind of skill set, and depending on how this turns out, this will be a bold move, and I'm going to take on the appearance of Lisa.
Who? Of who?
What's the sun elf sister, the one who's
You're going to do that in the lounge.
no,
Yes,
no.
keeping it low profile. I
Right.
see.
Outside, like in the gardens. I'm just going to shift my face a little bit.
Yeah, the
So
thing is,
that-
I believe that the plan was you would wait for the sisters to not actually be occupied, to be maybe before going.
Yeah, no. But this is me demonstrating to them what my plan would be kind of, and so to clarify, I'm talking to the two halfling sisters in the garden, and as they asked me, "Oh, do you want to get in with solvents or whatnot?" I'm saying my skill set is a different one,
Okay.
and I slightly shift my appearance to make myself look like one of the sisters, and then revert back to my normal one.
And when you say the garden, you're talking Nisa's garden, or you're talking about behind the spa?
Where would they have taken me, the two of them?
They are still in the lounge by my account.
Oh, never mind then. I think this is where we got lost.
Yeah.
So no, then I
worries.
say, oh, my skill set is a slightly different one. I was considering infiltration. They have to get in and out of there. I suppose you've noticed them entering and exiting?
No, nobody's been in there since we've got here. That's why we're interested. Used to be a path that way, but that hasn't seemed to been used for months. Wait,
Months already.
you're talking about the temple behind the copse of trees, right?
we talking about that, or are we talking about the tower? It's the same thing, right?
They look at each other and go, "Oh no, oh no, 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 no! The tower where they live? No, no, they're in and out of that place all over, all the time. No, 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 no." And Kelna is pretty sure that the statue above the door has been watching her. It's got creepy eyes and seems to follow my every move. I can't shake the idea that it was looking at me. It's just a gargoyle, Kelna. You've seen them everywhere. It's just a statue. I'm telling you, Leola, I think I saw it move.
You were in there.
No, of course not. No,
When did you see it watching you? Passing it?
It's on the top of the door and looking outside. It's literally a gargoyle. Just a statue. Just.
I'll tell you what.
No, we're talking about the other one. Said further in the trees. There's an old temple there. Got Sune all over the doors. And yeah, we walked by it. We heard something. Noises coming from inside. So we've been trying to look for a way in, but didn't bring our equipment with us. So unless you've got you got the good climbing skills and a bit of rope, we're stuck.
The climbing skills I have, though it's not my specialty, but
I can get a couple of towels. We can make a rope out of that.
If I may interject very quickly, Callahan, you would know of one particular bird who is fantastic at climbing.
That is true.
You have seen her in action.
Oh yeah, I mean, my original plan was to wait for the sisters to be distracted. They are hosting some of my colleagues, but if you're willing to wait, one of them is rather good at this climbing thing. Would mean that we wouldn't have the sisters distracted, though. So either we try this on our own and risk not finding our way in with the sisters otherwise occupied, or we wait for further assistance, which I can assure you is very reliable and very competent.
Well, right now, Morgana's there in her chair looking at her accounts. I'm pretty sure Greensong is in the kitchen. Nisa is usually outside, though Kenry's in, so she might be somewhere else. I haven't seen her come through the lodge, but she might just go around to the tower.
I wonder, how long have you two been here scouting out the place?
Well, we weren't here to scout the place in the first place, but, it's just waiting out a bit of heat. But, you get antsy. There's only so much you can do before your mind goes nuts. And so, keeping skills alive, let's put it that way, right? Can't get rusty.
Tell me about it. I wonder, you wouldn't happen to have seen a Dwarven, though, yes? About physically in about his 1st century, something like that. Grayish hair, short beard, kind of like a goatee situation. Big scar on the side of his eyebrow.
Let me have a look. They've been here how long? Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember the guy. Though it was weird because he was losing a lot of hair. He's actually losing his beard. He's losing his beard. Kelna clocked the fact that he was wearing a wig, top and bottom. But yeah, sort of corresponds to what you were saying. Oh yeah, his fake beard head was braided and everything. It was, from what I could tell, real hair. Probably his. From what you're saying.
Interesting. And that was from the beginning, or
Yeah, that was
did
yeah, we just arrived. I think he was one of not the first person we met, and then after that we didn't really see him leave. We weren't really looking at the joint. We weren't, scanning up the people yet, but yeah.
and
Seems
those voices you heard from the temple, was that a female voice, a male voice?
I haven't gotten close enough to really look at it and look into it. Just echoey.
I see. Well, I thought what I was looking for might be either in the tower, or hidden somewhere else, but that temple looks about as good a place as any to start investigating, so
Hey, sis. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yep, we're gonna do it. Right. So, and I
I'll bring my
think,
friend in then.
and I think that three is like, well, we can't do it now. And then again, I think conversation with regards to heist logistics starts to get into play. We're not gonna play it out because we know that planning a heist in D&D isn't worth the time spent on it. And let's move to maybe Hawthorne and Anput here. So, what is do you so Morgana is clearly sort of managing the books. She's got a cup of tea at the side, which she often sort of dips into, and looks up saying, "Oh, hello."
Anput
Very good evening.
Professor, would you keep a hold of the note or the apology letter with the dinner invitation on it?
Yep.
Okay. Anput will look at the note. Yeah, and kind of point to it.
She holds out a sort of a delicate hand, and actually, as she's about to thinking that you're giving her a note, and then recognizes the paper, the handwriting, the how do you call it, the stationery. She goes, oh,
Yes.
oh, of course. Does that mean that you are interested in our proposal? It is soon going to be the dinner bells, anyways. Would you dine with us then?
Anput
Yes,
will-
it would be
Anput
our
will nod.
pleasure.
Good. I'll let my sisters know. I believe Greensong is with occupied at her post right now. But once dinner is served, I can have it so that it be served in a place more, let's say more. I hate the word intimate, but none other comes to mind for now. Would you meet us at our tower? Just at the back. Yes.
Your tower.
Yes. Well, that is where most of the staff and other acolytes have their lodgings. Our own private space.
Anput will
Fascinating.
nod again.
Yep. We will join you there.
Well then, good. Right. Well, I will go to tell Ezrissa. She sort of slams the book, and inform Greensong that we will be dining with you in the tower. We just wait at the door here. I'll be sure to send someone to pick you up. I'm just making sure that everything is fine. That Seth hasn't made another mess, and we will see you very, very soon. And she sort of picks up the ledger underneath her arm, and with a sort of a wide smile, decides to sort of leaves the table. She first goes up to the door of the kitchen, right here, and basically you can hear her sort of talking through sort of mumbled words. As the door opens, there's a gruff bark, and you can hear sort of talking, but you can't really hear the words. right? There's a clamor of kitchen pans and other other activity coming from inside.
Kitchen-related noises.
Yes, exactly. And then she moves and she exits the lounge through the door to the entrance.
Okay.
I just sign it to you that it's highly suspicious that she mentioned that everything is fine. Didn't you find that?
Anput will sign. We get to see inside of the tower. I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to have a little look more around. They might
We'll
have
see.
their
We'll see.
eyes on us the entire time.
Let's say that a couple of minutes pass, and you hear the dinner bell. And Gale Tislar sort of walks in from the garden, sits near. Oh, actually, sorry. Before we get to that, Junnen, is there anything that you wish to do during this hour of waiting?
No one seems like they're in any danger anywhere yet from like the psychic link. Well, from Callahan, I'm observing him while I'm having my drink, and the professor and I keep forgetting the bird's name. Anput.
Yes, Anput.
Anput.
Anput. Yes. Haven't sort of made it seem like they're in any sort of danger.
No.
So I'm just still sipping my drink. I'm mostly just like the first person to sort of call out that something's gone wrong is where I'm planning on going.
Okay.
For now, I'm still on holiday and I plan to sort of enjoy that. Best case scenario, nothing goes wrong and I can continue drinking all night.
So in the interest, what I'll say is the link hasn't gone up just yet, but it might be just now as Anput and Hawthorne sort of live. All of you are within activation range, let's put it that way, for Callahan. And so at any moment, you'll just hear a game on and all of you will be linked. Well, at least I'm talking Hawthorne, Junnen, and are you going for Leola or Kelna?
Let's go with Leola, and let's say that this was the one who was the most skeptical and was.
Well, yeah. So I'm going to just mark you all here with a little lantern, just so that I remember that who's linked with whom. Right, perfect. And so this will last for about 2 hours from now on. The dinner chimes come in, and yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm trying to think if it makes more sense to link with Anput or with the professor. I'm thinking it might be. Let's add a channel of communication, and if that's okay for you, Professor, switch to Anput instead.
Absolutely.
Here's a very interesting question. Anput doesn't know how to form common words. Would she be able to form common words using the power of her mind?
It's thought.
It's thought.
I think the ability specifically mentions that they can speak telepathically. Number of hours. It doesn't specify that you need to share a language.
In the interest of fluidity, let's say that yes, you may communicate freely as if you were speaking with other members of your folk. Besides, you understand common, right? It's just that you cannot pronounce the words. That's what the magic of the amulet does. But yes, you can sort of hear that sort of ping at the back of your mind. It doesn't go deep, as in it's something that you are practiced with this. This is something that Callahan's ability you've known in operations in multiple forms, whether it's spells or enchantments, or in this case, sort of psionics. So there's no real surprise here. Let's move to.
Anput kind of jolts a little. Really on edge today. This has happened to her before with the psychic link, the operation before. She wasn't expecting it right now.
Okay.
I also did kind of not get what you were saying before. I think the simple answer is, can Anput speak Common psychically? Yes or no would be nice.
Yes.
Oh shit, that's a game changer.
Yes, she's fully
Anput
fluent.
No freaking way. It's everything she's ever wanted.
Right. Let's get a bit of tension here so that we can start getting this done. I think that as the chimes for the dinner announces, you have the regular sort of wash in, right? We have the Farleys that are now sort of talking in. They now seem to be they seem to be talking together. As maybe Hawthorne's suggestion of picking up a luxury train has sort of bound them in capitalist ambition. Capitalistic hedonism. Yes. On the other hand, Gale and Henry sort of talking to each other. Junnen, there's definitely a moment where Henry's literally, you can hear the conversation. Henry's wondering if he should actually take it, right? As in the miracle, the whole thing. And Gale is being a soundboard, but very much not letting anything of his own opinion. He's very good at dodging, answering opinions or what. It's more about, okay, so how do you feel? The guy's psychology almost 101, right? Is that sort of reflecting a lot of the back to Henry. You sort of realize that in the 2 days that maybe you've heard Gale or seen, you know nothing about him. Any conversation that you've maybe overheard is always going to be about learning what the person in front of saying is not what him. He's very good at saying things without saying anything. Kelna and Leona, and Callahan, I think that what do you guys do? You can before I say that, Morgana and Azrissa, you see them sort of pass by talking. There's this sort of nod in your general direction, and basically says, I've instructed Green Song to let you know when she'll be with us shortly with the meal. Feel free to join anytime at your liking. And so I'm going to prepare the tower. Okay, there we go. Right. So, at any moment, if you wish, Anput and Hawthorne, you let me know when you wish to go to the tower, knowing that your meal will be served there.
Anput will turn to the professor and do a bit of sign language. I'm suddenly very nervous. Do we just go now, or do we wait a few moments?
Let's have a polite 5 minutes.
Kind of curl up a little bit in her seat, tuck her legs in.
The 5 minutes pass. I think that's when sort of Green Song comes out. When she, again, hand on Morty's shoulder, sort of just making sure in her own way that everybody's served, and then she turns to an acolyte. There's a low whisper. I leave it in your hands. Make sure that everybody finishes their meal. I will be back later. You know what to do. And basically sort of walks past you. Morty has sort of a sniff and sort of noise in your direction, Anput. So in Green's, I'm going, no, dear. They are guests, and guests are not food. However, whatever size they might be. And sort of moves upside. We'll be waiting for you shortly. And I am going to move them to here. Right.
Anput is just looking at the professor, then at the doors every now and again. It's quite clear that Anput doesn't want to make the first move.
We are ready to go.
Okay.
My
Game on.
friend.
But
As
Anput
you
will be
just say-
behind the professor the whole time.
Yeah. At that point, I think that's when Callahan, you sort of, there's that just that subtle blink as you target Layla. I'm guessing you briefed her, so that she doesn't get surprised by the back door into her mind, and you're off.
Right then. Did you just say that Greenseer told the dog that people aren't food?
Guests are not food, however the small they might be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure.
Confirmation that Junnen is in fact not considered food.
Sorry, say that again.
Who?
You. Bradley.
Oh, did I get confirmation that Junnen is not considered food?
Union is medium-sized. Anput is small.
Yeah, but
Anput
I
is-
out of character. I know that I've done a very good job at pissing them off.
I
So I just-
am not guaranteeing anything. I'm just confirming what
They're
was
waiting
said.
for an excuse. Those elven sisters are waiting for any
Amazing.
excuse.
Yeah.
As a
Dwar-
reminder, Anput is considered a small creature. She is 3'10".
How? Yes. How
do Google
how to cook
measurements.
how to serve humanoids, and it's a cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know the
Promise
reference,
of the premise.
right?
Visit your local
Promise of the
goblin
premise.
tailors today.
Right. So as I mentioned, so Anput and Hawthorne, as you step out, I think I've described this before, right? As you step out, you can see there's a path leading east, fairly well traveled, with a sort of well built tower. Let me just try and find a here we go. Finely crafted stone tower, not tire. Rises among the trees not too far from the bathhouse. A statue of sharp-featured winged elf crouches above the front door, whose bright red surface is decorated with golden swirls. I'm talking about the door, not the statue. Anput and Hawthorne, what are your passive perceptions? Remind me, please.
My Anput's is 18.
Okay.
Mine is just 12.
Okay. Anput, I think there's a mixture of paranoia, that sort of prey fear mixed in with predator senses, where you just catch, maybe it's in the dying light of the early evening, but you do maybe catch just a shift in the shadows on the statue.
Anput's falling behind a little bit, behind the professor. And
But
she
a
is
beautiful building, isn't it?
The building, the tower seems to have been built pretty much at the same time as the resort itself. Sort of like the same kind of stone as well. And while you can see that it has had maybe better days, it is certainly something built for the ages. Right, this has been here for maybe a couple of 100 years, and it will continue for a couple of 100 years. It's good stonework. Could even be dwarvish. You're not exactly sure. As before you even get to knock, the door opens almost as if you were expected, and you find a sort of an older dragonborn. You haven't seen her before, though there might be an air of familiarity. You're not exactly sure. As you sort of she opens the door. Professor Hawthorne and Anput. Please, the sisters are waiting for you in the studio. The door, just to your left. As you sort of come in, you see the foyer has sort of it's got this sort of central staircase leading up. The Dragonborn is not necessarily blocking, as you know, she's older, maybe a bit frail, sort of maybe just a bit, her shoulders a bit stooped, and she's standing between you and two entries. So you've got the door here, which she opens. There's a door behind her, and there's a stairwell, sort of a circular stairwell moving upwards. Right, she's sort of making sure that you go through the intended door and not maybe go through the rest of the tower.
It's not accidentally go somewhere we're not supposed to be.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, a thin, weak-looking dragonborn, and you can see that there's a broom that's sort of just hidden behind one of the plants just beside. Right. If you would please. As you step in to the next room, you can see the three sisters are sort of seated. One of them is seated in a sort of a plush red velvet sort of velvet chair. Morgana, as Rissa is seated, Morgana is sort of standing again, sort of a goblet and sort of waving a goblet in her hand, talking to Greensong. This is it looks like an art studio. Magical light illuminates the room, which has an oversized chair, heavy curtains covering the windows, a large wooden ornate chest in a corner, but you also see tools and supplies for. There's a large easel, basically with a blank canvas on it, a low. A series of cushions have been seated around a low table, which you find doesn't have really its space here, but it's most likely because the dinner, right? It's been set up for you specifically. And not too long after you sort of come in, there's a waiter. Well, the waiter, one of the acolytes that brings in sort of a large tray of. We would know this as sort of finger foods and stuff like that. There's a meal here, but it's a lot of sort of different portions. Imagine tapas, right? You're having tapas with the elves. There we go. As well as,
is there food for Anput as well?
Absolutely.
Fruit snack.
Yeah. We have made sure to accommodate your needs, and Greensong has prepared. Please, have a seat and please eat. Morty is going to sit. Actually, Morty's going to sit Morty sort of sets himself down close to the door, sort of head on his paws, sort of restful. Greensong is going to basically sits beside the two of you and starts elaborately arranging small plates for you. You can see she doesn't use a fork or a knife, but she has sort of these 3 prongs on 3 of her fingers, which she uses to sort of pick different pieces from the different plates and arranges them for you. As Rissa, sort of man spread on this chair, sort of looking and said, "Nah, don't worry, I've already had my, don't worry about me, I'll eat later." Morgana very sort of still standing, sort of almost imperially, sort of looking at you. Said, well, and has the door is shut behind you. Well, thank you for coming. We wanted to apologize in person with regards to this dreadful business of disappearing items. Those responsible have been, well, may have been made aware of the error in their ways, and it will not happen again, I assure you.
Anput will
Apology
activate
accepted.
the final charge on her amulet, so she can be common for the next hour.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Where
I
to
interrupted
dine
you
with
there.
such refined company.
Thank you. But we do not need... there's no need for fuss around us. We're the caretakers of this establishment, no more, no less. There's no nobility, no manners specifically to have, just polite company. And Greenstone says, yes, of course. Please. And she sort of hands you each a sort of a plate in turn. Well, once I learned that we had such a strange guest among us, Anput. Do not, and when I mean strange, I mean it is not in a negative way. It's fascinating. I would love to know more of your story and of your origins.
Oh, where I'm from, a enormous forest. I choose to live alone when trees are enormous. Redwood, trees like that, very common everywhere.
I see.
Home is called Humblewood.
Sisters, I don't believe I've ever heard of that particular place. And we've traveled a bit in the Fae wilds, so not the Fae, huh? Well, you'll have to tell us more. Maybe we can maybe see if you wish to go home, maybe in our travels we might find a way. Morgana speaks. Yes, well, that is certainly one thing that we can do. Azrissa's quite the scout and quite the traveler. Yeah. But before that, I meant to speak with you. I've touched a word about it, but that amulet that you are, well, beholden to it. Am I mistaken?
Anput is currently clutched. She's clutching it a little hot, like a little more roughly than she wanted to. The amulet of the what is basically a pit, like a fish with a little pearl in it.
Yeah.
Mouth. She looks down and kind of holds it up a little bit.
I mostly rely on this, yes, for talking.
Huh. And Professor, I believe that you've been. Have you? And please do not take this with any judgment, but has any effort made to alleviate Anput's difficulties? To say that this amulet
find these difficulties.
This amulet cannot be the only solution.
I may know some other solutions, but I may also don't see the problem. He's just a unique creature. Its own way of communicating.
You tried for years. Can't pronounce words.
So it is more something of the physical nature then, because you understand our common language quite magnificently, and are
She
able
nods quite
to,
vigorously.
and you are able to communicate, just not through your own voice. Well,
Looks down at
sisters,
the amulet
what
again.
do you see? Sisters, what do you think? Do you think that we might be able to help out? As Rissa goes, a bit of transfiguration or modification to the back of the throat and to the tonsils. I think that is one miracle that we can certainly. We've done far more difficult. And Greensong agrees. Yes, no, I that is completely in the realm of possibility. Not to say that any miracle is minor, of course, but yes, we've dealt with bigger problems. If, of course, you wish to try, well, to call upon the goddess and her blessings.
If everyone looks at Anput right now, absolute desperation. She's trying to keep it down.
Is it desperation as in yes, 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 or desperation
She
no?
wants to say yes, but she also wants to say no at the same time.
Okay.
She is extremely torn.
That sounds scary.
As Rissa being the closest to you, sort of puts, you can hear the sort of, you can see her this muscular elf putting a not a heavy hand, but a fairly large hand on your shoulder, going, "There's nothing to worry, little bird. We've been doing this for a while now, and well, we've gone down to this sort of a science. Don't worry, it won't hurt at all. Well, sometimes a bit of tickling maybe down the throat, but no more than that. What do you think, Professor? Do you think you are this young one's charge? Well, this is your charge in a way, from what I understand. She trusts you. We would have your opinion on the subject. We do not want to do this without full collaboration and, well, consent from all
definitely
involved.
not in charge. That would be her decision.
As soon as you say I'm not in charge, as Rissa's face immediately turns from you back to Anput and says, "Well, I guess it's up to you, little one. What do you say? Should we give it a try?"
Curling up now in a ball.
Give time. Give time.
No worries, little one. But though, I would say we are here now. So, let's eat, talk a bit. If you have any questions, ask them. And before you go, well, you let us know if you want to do this now.
Okay.
Anput will gingerly reach out for a bit of food and just eat it like a mouse,
Okay.
despite being a predator bird.
Let's move now to the other trio. Trio. Quartet, mostly, even though one of you is staying behind. I think the three of you, Callahan, Kelna, and Leila, as you step out from the into the back of the temple. Yes, the resort. Let's put it that way. Callahan, where do you first go to? So, as I said, you can see there's a path going east, sort of that is sort of fairly well traveled, and you can just see now in the. You know what? Let's actually. Let's move this. There we go. Let's move this to night, shall we?
Interesting.
Actually, let's just go ahead and give us the.
Yeah.
Let's give it a bit of. I like this ambience.
Well, my kind has many gifts, but it doesn't have dark vision.
You don't have dark vision?
How much? So how light is it, if at all?
Let
me see. Do I? No, I don't think.
No,
I do.
you don't. No, that's the whole thing. You were half elf. You had as an yeah. But no, you don't have. Actually, I think there should be a little bit of light coming up from the. Wait, what did I do?
It is light enough for dark vision to work, which is to say it is dark.
Yes.
And you can't see.
What did I do to your token?
I have light vision, therefore I can see in the light.
There we go. For frack's sake. Sorry, folks. There we go.
Someone's
is my token lost in limbo?
Yeah, okay. Wait, can we... What do you see right now?
A whole lot of black.
Okay, well that's... I'm going to give you sort of dim... Let's give you some dim light. Low light, let's say 15 feet. Okay.
There we go. I see the Crest Sisters. And I think as I step out, you let me know when just about that would happen in the conversation we just heard. Anput, you would hear, you would feel like a ping at the back of your head. Like, Anput, darling, just making sure that all 3 sisters are in your good company right now.
Anput will go to speak in her own language, and then very fluently, in common. Yes, all 3 of them are here. Wait.
Lovely.
Can you understand me?
Oh yes.
What?
That's the joy of this little.
What is this power?
Thing.
I need to learn it.
All in good time. Enjoy the food.
Yes, all 3
Make
of them.
sure it doesn't enjoy you.
Okay.
And I'll tell the sisters, well, just had confirmation. All 3 of them are currently occupied. Shall we?
There we go.
And I would make my way with them towards following them towards this little temple that they've told me about.
So they bring you to this time basically to the left, leaving and let's sort of onto the. You can see that the path has been at some point. The path is overgrown, right? There used to be a not cobblestone, but sort of flagstone sort of path moving up from the back of the resort into the trees. But you can see here that the trees have. The path is overgrown, and it's almost as if the trees have been sort of moved closer and to close and to hide away the temple. There are younger trees here, sort of mixed matched. You can see that they've almost been, I would say there's almost like a pressure pushed in, the same way that a grove would have been built around. You come up to a, let's see, let's try and find where's the description. Here we go. You come up to a crumbling stone building that must have been once a sort of gorgeous shrine. Engraved images of Sune are still visible on the moss-covered stones. Her face gazing down on the path by which the faithful would have approached. Stone doors at the front of the shrine appear to be sealed shut by some sort of thick, clear resin, and a faint inscription is still visible above them. Welcome, dearest ones. Come find the beauty within you. As you walk around, the sisters are quick to sort of show you around. You notice that windows have been sealed shut, again with this resin. But just through one of sort of a crack in one of the windows, you can see that there's a shaft of moonlight coming in from above, indicating that there might be an entrance from the roof.
Okay, then. So, I'm guessing neither of you two are climbing specialists.
Well, we are with equipment, but it's difficult to
Yeah.
come in and run around with the whole thieves, the whole slew of thieves. And Kellner says, "Well," and sort of reaches into a bag and goes, "Well, do have this." And you notice that she's basically sort of improvised a knotted rope of torn linen, maybe a bed sheet or something along those lines. It's just, well, I've got this. It's not much. I only had this afternoon to sort of, I think, I purloined this a couple in from one of the closets. Leola goes, "Sister, good. Now, what are you going to be using for a hook?" "Oh, I knew I forgot something."
I'll take out from my thigh one of my daggers, and I'll just flip it handle over, and that could do in a pinch. And if we need more supplies, and then basically Callahan's gonna open his cloak. He's gonna sink his hand into it, and the hand vanishes, and then out he takes a small leather pack and unwraps it, and there's a selection of pliers, ciphers, and lockpicks.
What are you buying, stranger?
Yeah, this is, by the way, the scene is all three of you still wearing those fluffy robes and sort of opening it up in your full sort of thief leathers. Both Kelna and Leona sort of put up a sort of mask before in front of their faces, clearly not helping disguise them in any way, right? Being the only halflings in a 10-mile radius, probably.
There are three small class individuals here, and one of them's a bird.
Yeah, exactly.
That does not help them.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah. Right. So you're gonna climb up?
I am going to attempt the climb. Yes. What would this be? Can I use acrobatics for that?
Yes. In this case, it definitely would be acrobatics.
Okay. So pulls up my leathers, tries to move.
By the way, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is a dear old 14.
Which is just enough, actually. At first, you think it's the wind passing through the windows, the stone windows sort of sealed through, sort of that whistling. Except you hear there's a rhythm to it, and you start hearing sort of either mutterings or sobbing, as in coming from inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think, given the dice roll I just had, thanks for nothing, I rolled a 2. It was almost a 20.
Yeah, but I will considering that you have the two others to help you, I was going to give you advantage anyways, so that's a happy coincidence.
Let's go.
So that's a 19.
Lovely. I like.
The roof on top is formerly it would have been of shingles or sort of a terracotta tiles above. A lot of them have either been displaced by rain or Anput, spoilers. And so you find it slippery because it hasn't been cleaned in months, maybe years. You're not exactly sure, but you manage to. Do you let the sisters up, or do you prefer to scout ahead?
Yes. So what I do is I will try and find some place to anchor the rope.
Okay.
And then I will ping the sister and say, "All right, I got up there, and You were right. There's definitely something here.
I really ain't used to having somebody in my head like this. Usually it's just my own voices. And you hear in your mind, come on, Kelna, grab the rope. Damn it. Kelna, this time, Kelna, grab the rope. Let's get up there. Leola, not forgetting to turn from front channel to the other.
Mm-hmm.
As you come to the, as you're looking now inside, as you sort of putting down, trying to, you don't have much, you don't have enough light to really explore the interior from above. But I'll say that maybe it's a thieves lamp, so you can sort of align it to sort of dim it. On the inside of the shrine has the appearance of having been abandoned after some terrible confrontation, maybe years ago. Broken benches with shredded cushions are overgrown with twig fungi. 4 large mirrors hanging on the walls have been shattered, leaving the stone floor covered in shards of broken glass. Now, sort of reflecting in an eerie way the light of your lantern. You also notice that just underneath the hole where it is where you're standing, there is a statue of Sune. That would maybe help you climb down.
Okay. Is that another acrobatics check, or do I get the climb down for free?
No, considering that that's it's good enough for me.
Right.
I will ask you, however, as long with the other two, to give me a dexterity check, this time with disadvantage.
Dexterity with disadvantage. You got it.
Stealth, specifically.
Stealth. Oh, sorry.
As you are climbing down and onto these shards of broken mirrors.
Charming. Let's not get screwed by the dice.
We love math. We love statistic.
Ooh! Thank you.
We love statistic.
So that is a 16 and a 17 on the die, plus 7. I believe that gives me a respectable...
That's a
74. No, 23.
Yeah. So 23 from you, a 12 from Kelna, who maybe has a bit of difficulty sort of shimmying down, and a crit for Leola. One thing that I would mention.
Double 20s.
Sorry?
Leona rolled double 20s.
No, so that's a 12. That's actually a 12 and a 15. You're right. No worries. But that's good enough. The one thing that I would mention is that as you're slowly coming down, sort of climbing down the statue, you can notice that the statue's expression might have been suggesting at some point smiling laughter, right? That sort of ecstasy of life and of hedonism. But streaks of dirt have been sort of strategically placed to give it a almost like if it was crying, sort of weeping. You can see that the smile that was laughter with those streaks now looks like mania. And the welcoming arms held out towards those that you would embrace is now almost a plea to the skies above. As soon as you hit the ground here, trying to avoid these shards of glass, now you can clearly discern, coming from the stairs situated towards the back. Let me just put you inside. Here we go. You can see that there's a stairwell on the sort of behind the statue on the northern side of the shrine. It seems going down, and you can hear now the echoes of this sort of sobbing and muttering.
Who wants to go down the creepy staircase in the abandoned temple first?
Oh. Not exciting. I was kind of hoping that this would be in a better state. But
Someone had a party in here, and not the fun kind.
no.
Do you see any blood or
Actually,
anything of the like?
no. Don't smell it either. You notice that the two halflings do not need your light. They see perfectly well in the dark.
Oh well. I'm going to, if that's okay for you, DM, I'd like to, before stepping any further, just look around for traps. I'm guessing that's a thieves' tools checks that would give me advantage.
In either perception or investigation. Perception. Let's put it that way.
Perception. Can do perception. I can be perceptive, can't I? I cannot.
I don't know from experience you can do a very good intimidation bit.
Oh, you say the sweetest things. That was, I think, with
Don't kill me.
advantage with the thieves' tools. That's just about a 14. I'm afraid.
Well, I'll say this: traps, you don't see any, apart from the broken glass, the glass shards on the floor. Fortunately, you thought of your boots.
One of the sisters messed herself up, you said?
Yeah, well, she's a bit less stealthy than her elder sister, but yeah, all good. This is where, look, guys, this is where we're going to take a little break. Before we go, we either explore the options of the miracle or the deeper parts of the shrine. Let's take a little 5-10 minute break on our end. For those listening, you know the drill. We'll see you very shortly for most likely would be the conclusion of this adventure. So keep in tune and
See you soon.
come back soon for the final revelations of a much needed rest.
I should finally go turn on my lights as I have been slowly fading into darkness.
Yes.
I wanted
I
to
don't know if
say
anyone's been
something.
keeping.